Well, hey everybody, I'm John Retlin with another end of year show. My 20 least favorite wrestling moments of 2019. A companion piece to my 20 least favorite matches of 2019 list, link up here. And if you notice on this list that I'm not separating certain pieces like, oh, why wasn't this segment of this angle worse than this one or everything, I'm just human centipeding them together. Yes, I was going to find a way to put that in on this video, and good luck on seeing that. But that way I can just encapsulate how I particularly did not care for this exact angle or this exact feud or whatever. That's really what it just comes down to. It's just to save time. And I'm also going to have 25 favorite wrestling moments of 2019. That list will be up later, and that will be much more positive because there's been a lot of good shit. Let me just say this before I get started on the list. There's been a lot of good shit happening this year on WWE programming. There's also been some bad shit because they have so much weekly TV and so many big events, takeovers, big events, and that kind of stuff. The Saudi Arabia shows, oh boy, that there's more of a chance for bad shit to happen just as much as good shit. And AEW has had some bad shit happen, but they've also had some really good shit happen. So I'm going to talk about some of that stuff here and leave in the comments what your guys' thoughts are. So we get to number 20, Jay White's IWGP title run. Here we go, starting out with a whole bunch of controversy. Look, I get why Jay White won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And I may do an unpopular opinion on him sometime in 2020, because I like Jay White. I do. Do not get me wrong. I think he's a very good heel. I think he's effective in the ring. He gets the crowd to hate him. And he's excellent on the mic in the sense that you just want to punch the fucker in the face. You really do. And he's good at that. He is very good at that. The problem is the title reign was simply done because Tanahashi had to be Kenny Omega because Kenny Omega was leaving because Kenny just didn't like the New Japan wouldn't build around him despite the fact they gave him a title run and he was one of the worst IWGP heavyweight champions in recent memory, in my personal opinion, of course. But Tana wasn't going to be able to hold it for that long because his knees were shot. And I love Tanahashi, do not get me wrong. I would like to have seen him hold it until G1 Supercard and lose it to Okada. But they needed to have it be a hated heel. They needed to hotshot a bit, and that's what I didn't really like. I didn't like them hotshotting the championship. Jay White won it from Tanahashi, and then held it for like 7 weeks, and then lost it to Okada, never defended it, and it just wasn't very good. Whether Jay White was ready or not is up for debate. I don't think he was, but they also wrote themselves into a corner and he had to do it, but his title reign just turned out to be a flop. It turned out to be a really big flop. He'll get a run at some point, maybe in 2020, maybe 2021, maybe he'll win the G1. That would be something. That'll really... oh boy, I think he'll win the U.S. title again at some point. But regardless, they tried with it. It didn't work, but I still didn't like it. Number 19, Tyson Fury being in a WWE ring. His controversies aside, I just didn't like the fact that they were including a celebrity again when they have so many underutilized talents. And they reportedly paid him an exorbitant amount of money to get into wrestling. Why? Oh, they got mainstream publicity. You can take that money and you can pay it towards the women that weren't allowed to go to Saudi Arabia until the most recent event where Natalya and Lacey Evans were allowed to go there and had stuff thrown at them because there are still a bunch of goddamn idiots out there that think that it's okay to mistreat women, you pieces of shit. Whether they were kids, whether they were adults, they should have been reprimanded horribly if necessary. So, that aside, Tyson Fury should have not been included. But if you want to include all the controversy and the stuff that he said, yeah, he really shouldn't have been fucking included. I can't imagine Sonya Deville was too comfortable with him being in the company. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for her, but knowing Sonya Deville and everything, and knowing Sonya Deville, like just based on interviews and everything, and knowing that, she is gay, she's a lesbian, you would think she'd be a bit uncomfortable, just a tiny bit absolutely uncomfortable with what Tyson Fury did and said and stuff like that, and just his comments about women in general, and Tyson Fury's a piece of shit. That's really what it comes down to. Did he gravitate towards wrestling? Sure. Okay. Is he the worst person that's ever been involved in wrestling? No. But you know what? It still wasn't very good. It still wasn't very good involvement in wrestling, and I hated it. And then we get to something else that I hated. Number 18, Hulk Hogan being brought back to WWE TV. This isn't number 1 for this reason. We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew eventually it was going to happen. He came out of WrestleMania 35 where Alexa introduced him, and no, I don't mean the electronic device. I mean Alexa Bliss, WWE's electronic device. I kid. Alexa actually has some usefulness. That's mean. That's needlessly mean. Alexa Bliss has usefulness. She could be in the land of Oz. I don't know why I'm dumping Alexa Bliss all of a sudden. Hulk Hogan is the main focus of this rant. Hulk Hogan should have never been brought back to WWE TV. Now I get why. Is he the only person to ever say any racist shit in the world? No. Especially in wrestling. Oh, hi, Randy Orton saying the N-word on a Twitch stream. Regardless of whether it was this variation or this variation, in my opinion, they're still both really fucking bad. Here's the whole deal. Hulk Hogan was only sorry he got caught. Do I believe that he is sorry for what he said? No. I'm willing to forgive some people, but it just didn't seem like he felt bad. Now, whether it was said years ago or not, people railed against Cornette for him saying that word back at like a Smoky Mountain thing back in the 90s, and he addressed that. And it's a controversial shit sense. I'm not trying to say that. But people are so forgiving of Hogan, and then people are not so forgiving of Hogan. If you guys forgive Hogan and you're in the comments, you are more than welcome to do that. That's fine. I'm not going to forgive Hogan. For a variety of reasons. For this racist stuff, and also for the fact he buried a lot of people. Randy Savage was always better than Hulk Hogan. I wish this had been Randy Savage instead of Hulk Hogan showing up at WrestleMania 35. And Randy Savage should have been inducted into the Hall of Fame before he passed away. But Vince is a little petty bitch. It just was uncomfortable. And then him appearing in Raw Reunion and all this kind of stuff. And the Team Hogan versus Team Flair thing. Proving that WWE had just caught up to 2010 TNA programming. Now Impact Wrestling. Because they decided to do Team Hogan versus Team Flair. Why? I don't get it why. I just don't. Anyway. Number 17, not using the Iconics as tag champions. They had this great moment winning the tag team championships, the women's tag team championships at Mania. Great moment. Loved it. Was emotional. Actually should have recorded my reaction because it was pretty legit. I was really shocked. I was really happy for them. And then they proceeded to do absolutely nothing with them for 4 months. Shameful. Shameful in the sense that whether you think Billy Kay and Peyton Royce are that good or not using a recently brought in tag team, or recently brought in championship to get anybody over is ridiculous. Sasha and Bayley had it for a goddamn cup of coffee. The Iconics had the longest reign at the time. I think Asuka and Kyrie are close to passing it. Well, actually, I think they've only had it for a couple months, but still, they've only had it for a few months or a couple months, and they should have a long dominant run. The Iconics, I totally forgot they even had the championships, and it's sad because again, whether they're the best in the world or not, I think they could be utilized a lot better, and the fact they weren't utilized was bullshit. It was fucking bullshit. Number 16 rather. Charlotte beating Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title right before Mania 35. They axed the whole Asuka-Sonya Deville match that was going to take place at Mania 35. Okay, to be fair, WrestleMania 35 was already about 8,000 hours, so I understand it, but they could have just put that on the pre-show. They already had a 2-hour pre-show. Now, I wouldn't have liked Asuka and Sonya Deville to be on the pre-show, but for fuck's sake, put it there. Something. Give the women something to do. And it's just the fact they didn't do that was shameful. Oh, no, they had to do the double belt thing. Charlotte had to have a championship. Whether Charlotte wanted to do it or not, and I mean, from pictures and interviews afterwards, it didn't seem like Charlotte wanted to do it. And if that's the case, I feel bad for her. But it was a bullshit call by Vince McMahon because it was another way to give Charlotte a title reign. Because maybe Charlotte wants to leave in a couple of years, and they're like, hey, we're going to give her all the title reigns. We're going to have her break her dad's record because we're petty fuckers. Yeah, WWE's known for being a little petty. I'm a little angry, can you tell? So, Sonya Deville gets cut out of having a WrestleMania match pre-show or not. Asuka gets cut out of having a pre-show match or having a title match there because I think she was in the Battle Royal. It just, now they're using Asuka and Kyrie as heels and it's great and everything, but the fact they slapped Sonya Deville in the face, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I also wanted to get Sonya Deville's shirt, the put your hair up and square up thing. The problem is I have no hair. But I do fully support Sonya Deville and hopefully she gets a good run in the Royal Rumble. And between this and the last video, I have like 3 women that I want to get like 30-minute runs in the Rumble. Boy, they're going to have to bump it up to 40 women. Oh, please don't. Please don't. The 40s men's Royal Rumble wasn't very good. Anyway, this was bullshit. Charlotte should have not won it. You didn't need to add more stakes to that. Plus, it should have just been Ronda versus Becky anyway, and you could have had Charlotte versus Asuka versus Sonya. And maybe Sonya could have beat Charlotte. That would have been something. Anyway, number 15, Corbin retiring Kurt Angle. Baron Corbin may just be casting a role and just doing his best. I mean, he's not very good at it, but he's doing his best. But him retiring Kurt Angle is bullshit. It was stupid. It was bad. Kurt Angle wanted to retire against somebody good. Even if you go with a hated heel, you could have gone with Samoa Joe. I I mean, I think Joe and Ray were involved in a U.S. title feud, but the whole point is you could have had something happen where it would have worked, and it would have been better. But no, they didn't do that. And Kurt Angle was gassed well before this. Kurt Angle was gassed before he came back to WWE. He was gassed in TNA, Impact Wrestling. You could tell. Because he beat his body up and he abused his body and everything and the whole painkiller thing and all that. Now he got clean. He got clean. Not trying to argue. But he beat up his body so damn much that by this point he was a shell of what he was. Corbin could not carry him to an even watchable match. It was sad to watch. I wanted Kurt to win. I knew he wasn't going to win, but it would have almost been better. But yeah, Corbin retired him. Fucking bullshit. Number 14, the 24/7 Championship. I ranted about this at length since it debuted and all through this kind of shit and everything. And I hated the 24/7 Championship. It jumped the shark from the beginning to me. From the beginning. It's really jumped the shark now. It is fucking atrocious. It is atrocious. Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. I mean, don't have it. If you want to have it go till, the first of the year, fine, and then get rid of it. Start the year anew and get rid of the title because I don't care anymore. It's like it's worse than the Hardcore Championship at its worst moment, like 2002, 2001, 2002. It was stupid. They need to get rid of it. Number 13, Shorty G. This is the only time you're going to hear me say that name on this review on this channel. His name is Chad Gable. He's always going to be Chad Gable. Stick a fork in him in WWE. He's done. And I love Chad Gable. Put him in New Japan, put him in AEW, maybe don't put him in Ring of Honor because I want him to get paid and I want him to be utilized on television to actually be seen by human beings. Put him somewhere else. Impact, he could go to Impact. I mean, granted, pay may be an issue, but still, Impact, at least he could have some good matches. Maybe he could knock some sense into Michael Elgin and tell him to stop abusing women, allegedly. But he could have a good match with Cage. Gable could have good matches with anybody, but they would need to have him be Chad Gable and go back to NXT. But if he went to AEW or he went to New Japan, he could be a killer in New Japan. Give me him versus Minoru Suzuki. Apparently I want Chad Gable to die. But when that name happened, I go, he's done. He's done. And that gear is stupid. It's not that he's stupid. He is a tremendous performer. But he is just fucking, he's dead. Absolutely 100% dead in the fans' eyes. And it's stupid because of how talented he fucking is. Now, there are way more that I could put on here, but, because I could talk about Ali not being utilized all that well since coming back from injury, or Ricochet and the 50-50 shit with him, and Andrade, or Andrude, if you will. They'd need to team them up and call them that. I would pop for that. But we get to number 12. Angelina Love and Velvet Sky being brought in the Ring of Honor. This goes back to G1 Supercard. I covered that in the match when I talked about on the worst matches, or my least favorite matches of the year. Again, link up here. You want to check that out. And no, I don't mean like Navi looking for link. Hey, listen. I have the weirdest show. Really, I do. Because it's just me talking and making random references. So, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky being brought into Ring of Honor was stupid. Mainly because they were well past their sell date by this point. Velvet got worse in the ring, probably because her boots, were way more over and way better in the ring than she ever was. And sure, injuries could happen, but when you get that much worse, when you get to where Lacey Von Erich looks good in the ring by comparison, that's saying something. And Lacey knew when to get out of the ring, if only Velvet did. And Angelina Love Angelina Love, I think, is having a match at Final Battle, if I recall correctly. I don't even know if Final Battle's happened yet. And if it has, I'm sorry. I don't pay that much attention to Ring of Honor. But I just don't understand why these two pretty much useless women were brought into Ring of Honor when clearly there are way better on the indies that could be utilized better. And whether they have names or not, they'd be better than these two. So, we get to number 11, this Rowan Cage bullshit. This Eric Rowan Cage bullshit. I'm putting it all the way up here because people are like, well, you need to see what's in the cage. It's stupid. It's like that movie It's Alive or Basket Case, except those movies at least had the benefit of being stupid but fun for about 5 minutes until you realize that's all the movie had was people approaching a basket and getting killed, or approaching the baby carriage and getting killed. I watch horror movies a lot, can you tell? Eric Rowan, whether he's good in the ring or not, that feud with Roman Reigns was absolute bullshit. He wasn't any good. He wasn't any good to me and shouldn't be on TV. He's injured too damn often. I'm amazed he stayed injury-free this long. And sure, he's a big guy. That's about it. He's not intimidating beyond his size. Like, whenever he talks, he's not intimidating. In the ring, he's just blah. And his cage thing is bullshit. What's in there? Heyman? I don't know. What's in the cage? Let me know in the comments what you think is in Eric Rowan's cage. Because it has a little thing where you can look down there. It's like a little glory hole or a little hole in the popcorn bucket trick. Good luck on seeing that. Number 10, the Mandy Rose, Jimmy Uso, and Naomi angle thing. Naomi will never look like me. I'm going to sleep with Naomi's husband. This kind of stuff Mandy's saying and everything. And it did not benefit Mandy Rose at all. It didn't. If they don't think Mandy Rose can work, well, they're kind of dumb. Because I'm not saying Mandy Rose is the best in the world. She's not. But she is much better than I initially thought she was. And I'm glad to see that she's allowed to show what she can do in the ring. Nothing wrong with doing backstage segments and nothing wrong with doing stuff to get people's attention. This was dumb. Oh, Mandy Rose looks different than Naomi. Yeah, duh. We fucking know that. It's pretty damn obvious. Why do you need to do all these cucking angles? And another thing I'm just going to throw in on this entrant because it's pretty much, it offended me the same way. The Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis bullshit. All that was absolutely stupid. So all this cucking bullshit, this cuckold, these fucking angles. Why? Why do you hate your talents that much? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Uso was it Jimmy Uso that did the drunk driving thing earlier this year? I mean, it would make a lot of sense because of whatever, and hopefully the Usos get rehab and they come back and they're okay. I know Naomi's been off because of personal reasons, so I'm not going to target Naomi at all. She can hopefully get back into the best place possible. Maybe show up at the Royal Rumble or maybe show up at the first of the year. So anyway, the Mandy Rose, Jimmy and Naomi thing was shit. The Mike Maria thing was absolute bullshit. So that's just going to get a tie on here because really both of them went on for weeks and were absolute crap. And I got to be honest, I forgot about the Mandy, Naomi, Jimmy Uso thing because it happened at the beginning of the year. And I was looking over like some notes. I go, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, that's getting on the list because it's fucking stupid. It's not good TV and it's not what I want to see on wrestling. It's not entertaining. Number 9, Kofi losing the WWE title in 6 seconds. Already addressed this on the worst matches of the year list. It was bullshit. Kofi deserved better. Him losing to Brock was a foregone conclusion. How he lost to Brock was stupid. So, now we move on to, oh boy, something else involving the Usos. The Usi hot thing with the Usos and the Revival. You could throw the back shaving thing in on here and all the homophobia that went along with that. That was implied with creative, not with the Usos. But Usi hot and back shaving and all this. This feud was dumb. And it's between two teams that are pretty goddamn talented that should have been a whole lot better. But nope, it wasn't. It was dumb. It was Usi hot because it's funny to see men, pretend that their balls are on fire. Their balls were hot. At least it's not like, Jake Hager saying, oh boy, God, that stuff he said. Or maybe he could have kneed him in the balls and that would have felt a whole lot better. Funny how AEW referenced that, but this Usi hot thing was stupid. It was not good TV. I remember vividly being angry. I vividly remember being angry during the review, talking about this. And I think Derb was actually angrier than I was. So, I want to make mention really quickly before I continue with the rest of this list. I only got 7 entrants left. Myself and the Derbinator are planning to do an end-of-year stream somewhere around, I think the 29th of December, which I know isn't quite the end of the year, but since, New Year's Day falls on a Wednesday, we're going to do a stream there. We may even do a stream afterwards on, after or before Dynamite on the 1st of the year. But we're going to do an end-of-year stream the 29th. I'm going to plug this on Twitter as well. I would encourage you guys to check it out as much as you can, as little as you want to, whatever you want to. Come with questions. Let's have a fun discussion and everything, and let's have some fun. Because I want to make sure that we go out, with a nice bang, bang, on the end of the year. Because that's really what it's all about. It's all about having fun. So anyway, let's get back to the list. Number 7, Duke and Shafir getting TV time when they haven't improved one bit. Again, another thing that I covered here on, the worst matches when I talked about Duke and Shafir just not being worth the goddamn TV time they get. They aren't. They are fucking atrocious. Atrocious human beings? Probably not. But that doesn't take away from, that doesn't, mean anything with the fact that they are fucking terrible in the goddamn ring. Is it easy to wrestle? No, it can't be. That's why I don't fucking do it. I took bumps in a ring that a friend of mine had years and years and years ago. Well, actually, one of his family members had a ring in a warehouse when he was doing some kind of training. And I took some bumps in this ring. And it was an old ring, but it was a ring that was still in pretty good shape. It hurt like hell, and I never did it because I knew that my body couldn't handle the pain. So again, I got respect even for the worst wrestlers that take those kind of bumps, but guess what? That doesn't mean as, a presence on TV, I have to respect them. And Duke and Shafir aren't worth the TV time they're getting. They're atrocious. So we get to number 6. Orange Cassidy's antics. They're dumb. They're rotten. The shin kicks. The hands in the pockets and doing the dive, great. He does it and it's impressive and he almost kills himself. Thankfully he doesn't injure himself, but it's just stupid to do that. I don't find it entertaining. Orange Cassidy is not entertaining to me. There are other people who disagree. That's fine. Because that's a great thing about my channel. I don't care if you guys have different opinions, because I'm not going to tell you guys you're wrong. Unless you actually think that Trump's a good president, but that's another story for another day. Look, Orange Cassidy is not entertaining to me. Oh, he can do some good matches when he actually gets motivated. Great. They've already shit the bed with Orange Cassidy with me, and I'm not going to care if he's even the best wrestler in the goddamn world. I don't think he is, but whatever. I just don't like the guy. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tired of it. Number 5, anything with Baron Corbin as King of the Ring winner. From the whole changing Chad Gable's name, to being a king, to the dog barking with Roman Reigns, to the dog food. Dumping the dog food on the most recent episode of SmackDown. No one can tell me that's good TV. It's not good TV. Looks like he was covered in shit, which actually makes sense because Baron Corbin has pretty much been involved in nothing but shit because Baron Corbin is shit. Not necessarily even in the ring. He's fine in the ring, but just on the mic, I just don't care about the guy. Oh, sure. Oh, he generates real heel heat. Not to me and not to a lot of people. It's more just like, get the fuck out of here. I don't even care if you get your ass kicked. Just go away. Get off TV. It was like anything with Shane McMahon. I mean, the reason I'm only going to briefly mention stuff with Shane McMahon is because, yeah, it was terrible TV, but at least they had the sense to get Shane McMahon off TV. You can try to make Baron Corbin happen. It ain't going to fucking happen. And his feud with Reigns is absolute ass. And yes, I am recording this before WWE TLC. So if any bad stuff happens on TLC, don't worry. That review is going to be full of a whole bunch of stuff. And I'll say, well, fuck, I should have waited. But I don't have the clairvoyance to see ahead. So whatever. Now we move on to Brock winning and cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. Brock winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was terrible. You can check out my Money in the Bank review for my initial reaction and how angry I got. Ali got screwed. Everybody got screwed in that. They made me feel bad for Baron Corbin not winning it. They made me feel bad for Orton, Randy Orton, who puts the N in Randy and Orton. And no, I'm not going to forgive that because he didn't apologize for it. And if he did, he probably didn't mean it. So Ali, I felt really bad for. They were going to have Ali win it. They should have had Ali win it. You know why? Because it would have been interesting. They didn't do that. They did not do the thing. They had Brock win it. And it was stupid. Sure, the whole Brock beatbox thing. I didn't find that entertaining. Look like Brock was having fun, but whatever. I don't mind. Some of the stuff I have in mind about Brock Lesnar when he's not champion. When he's not champion, I don't mind some of the stuff that he does. Because he can be a presence on there. I just don't want to see him as champion. And him winning Money in the Bank, worst Money in the Bank winner of all time. Easily. Easily. Worse than Del Rio, worse than a lot of them. Good God. It was just stupid. But again, I'm not gonna go into everything about like how I initially felt because you can just check out my Money in the Bank review. But I did absolutely 100% hate this fucking moment, and it was a fucking slap in the face, especially to Ali. And then we go to number 3, Marco Stunt being allowed to be competitive in matches. One of the worst matches of the year, in my personal opinion, was Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy against Lucha Bros, and I talked about that in that worst matches or least favorite matches list. Marco Stunt is an embarrassment as somebody that they present in the ring as being competitive. It's stupid. He should he should be over the guardrail in the goddamn crowd with the fans, which is where he belongs, but him being competitive and getting any moves in on anybody is just, it just brings every wrestler down that he competes against. I feel bad for Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy's got a future, and so is Luchasaurus. They may get along backstage. That's great. I don't care because Marco Stunt's shit. And his brother ain't much better either. I saw his brother live at an indie show. Sorry, I want to see wrestlers that actually can see over the goddamn top rope. And I'm not a sizest person. You can have small women in the ring and it's fine, but if you don't have guys that at least look like men, or at least look like they could grow into being men, and you have basically people that you pluck from the land of Oz, it's not a good thing. And once again, I must ask, is, Marco and Logan's father, or is he only capable of producing pint-sized human beings? Does he have a medical condition? Because he may want to get that checked out. So, whatever, they're living their dream. Just as a fan, I just don't like it. Number 2, the Hell in a Cell botch with Rollins and The Fiend. Come on. What else do I need to fucking say? It was stupid to end the Hell in a Cell match for the second year in a row with a no contest DQ, whatever the fuck they did, and it was dumb. The red light was dumb. Everything about this was dumb because it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. But again, talked about the match in full on the review, that kind of stuff. So, number one, the Lana Lashley Rusev bullshit. This angle started bad, got worse. That's impossible to fathom because it started off so goddamn horrible. I was like, amazing. They managed to get a bunch of money from USA Network, for 5 more years, and this is the type of TV they're producing. I don't know who actually has anything to do with this angle. If Rusev, Lana, and Lashley are putting in input, are having input on the storyline, and this is what everyone's coming up with, fuck everybody involved with this goddamn feud. It's terrible. Lashley, I would say, deserves better, but obviously he doesn't give a shit anymore. I can't imagine the Rusev gives a shit. Oh, Rusev stays. Let me make it clear. There are conversations I've had with people on Twitter, and people are like, well, Rusev's more over than he ever was. No, he was over before. And they fucking butchered the whole Rusev Day thing. They butchered his face. They butchered a possible face run before. They've done it time and time again. If you guys think that they're going to do anything with Rusev and make him a world champion, well, I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. This angle is absolute bullshit. It's the worst thing about wrestling on TV. As far as backstage and everything, the Ring of Honor bullshit with Kelly Klein and all that, and Joey Mercury and a bunch of others takes the cake. And Sami Callihan being a world champion actually should get an honorable mention as well, because he never fucking deserves to be a world champion in any promotion. But honestly, this Lana Lashley Rusev thing is shit. It's shit, and I just don't understand how anybody can defend it. It's fucking terrible. So anyway, that's where I'm going to end that list. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.